This video will go over how to abandon a well in FUDSChem. For information on how to enter a new well, please refer to our Well Completion Information Entry tutorial video, linked in the description. To mark a well as abandoned, we will need to create a well completion info update file. We will follow the electronic data specification for well completion info updates found under Reports, ADR and Submission Reports, Electronic Data Specification Fixed Width. Choose Well Completion Info Updates and click View Report. We go over this report and how to use it to create a file in our Updating Well Completion Information tutorial, linked in the description. For this example, we have already prepared a CSV file and have populated it with the information that we want to update. To prepare this spreadsheet, we named each column with the field names listed in the specification and filled out the dist ID and loc ID. Dist ID is a 5-letter code denoting your district. The dist ID is just US plus the 3 letters that appear in the database dropdown after your district name. For example, New England District would be USNAE. For the training database, this is USTRN. Loc ID is the location ID that identifies which well we will be abandoning. We need to update the well type classification code, WTC code, to abandoned by entering the valid value ABN. The well abandonment date should also be noted. As a best practice, it should be included in a well maintenance info file, which we will go over later. However, if the PDT prefers to streamline the process and only enter one file, the date can be entered as a remark here instead. Be sure to save this file as a CSV. Once the update file is saved, we can submit it by going to Tools, Data Submission. Select the project and event. Choose Well Completion Info Updates as the data type. Note that the update does not need to be submitted to the same event as the original Well Completion Info data. It can be submitted to any event in the project. This allows us to update wells across an entire project with a single update file. We will click Upload File. Indicate the file type and select the file. Once the file is uploaded, check the box to the left and click Screen to initiate the error screening checks. If errors are present, click on the number of errors to access an error report, or reach out to your Synaptics point of contact for help interpreting errors. If you need help interpreting errors, please do not delete your file. Leave it there so we can review it to better troubleshoot. Any necessary changes should be made to the file itself, after which the file can be uploaded again. Once the file has been screened and is error-free, rename the file if desired. Certify the file, upload any supporting documentation to the library, and alert the reviewer that it is ready for them to review. We go over the reports that can be used to help review the file in our Updating Well Completion Information tutorial, linked in the description. Following our best practice, we will now note the date of abandonment in a well maintenance info file. Here, under Tools, Data Submission, choose Well Maintenance Information as the data type. You have the option to create a file or upload file. For this example, we will click Create a File and enter our data via the interface. We could alternatively follow the same process of looking at the specification to create a CSV file if we wanted to use the Upload File option instead. First, we'll choose our first location in the Location ID dropdown. If you do not see the location you need in the dropdown, uncheck the Event Loc IDs Only box. For this example, we abandoned the well on December 21st, 2023. We will enter that as the log date. For the maintenance type, we will choose Abandoned. We can see that measuring point elevation, surface elevation, and remarks do not have asterisks, meaning they are not required. For this example, we will leave the elevations blank, but add some details about the abandonment in the remarks field. We will say, concrete and steel casing removed, approximately 10 gallons grout mix poured via tremie into well, PVC well riser cut 2 inches below grade. Click Save. If we abandoned our other wells in the same way on the same day, we could use the Copy button up at the top to make a copy of this record and change only the information that's different between the two, such as the location name. Alternatively, we could use the Add button instead to add a new location with an entirely blank template. For the sake of time, we will only enter data for one well. Since we've already saved, we will close the interface. As before, we will click Screen to make sure there are no errors flagged by the system. We can then rename the file if desired and certify it. Once you have certified the file, send an email to your review point of contact and ask them to review and approve the file. Marking a well abandoned in FUDSChem results in the well no longer being selectable in certain data entry interfaces, such as the Event Management Assign Locations tab. It also gives the well a special icon when exported to Google Earth. Don't forget to subscribe to the FUDSChem YouTube channel for more tutorial videos. All of the tutorials and playlists mentioned during this video are linked in the description below. Lastly, if you have questions or comments, feel free to contact us at fuds.support@synectics.net. Thank you.